"Hey Matt, I'm 18 and been exploring pathways at which I can make a change in my life. Do you have any pointers? I'm getting lost and overwhelmed." Here's the deal. Welcome to Fact Fridays with Matt. This is our first edition of answering your questions that are in the comment section. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for always being engaging in our videos. I want to make time to answer as many questions as we possibly can on a weekly basis. So what way to do that? Then put it into this forum and hopefully you guys get some value from this. Really good questions this week. Okay, first question, I guess really statement. It actually comes from Rosemary Olmeda. She said, "Would like to see more weight loss and health talks about obesity as I am obsessed and how to overcome this disease. Thanks." So Rosemary, I appreciate you. A lot of you guys don't know. Obviously, I gained a lot of weight since I got into real estate and business in general. I thought maybe it was a trade-off. I was broke, but in great shape. And then I started making money, had kids, got a dad bod, but now I have money. It's like, which one would you rather have? I'm like, why can't we have both, right? So I was a personal trainer. I ran a half marathon, trained for ultra marathons. And then when I got into business, I got so obsessed with just making money and I knew I had a kid on the way and it was just crazy time of like work. And then 2020 came around and COVID and just gained so much weight. And it wasn't until probably like 3 months ago I really started to get back on, tracking my macros. I got a nutritionist. So we're heading back in the right direction. If you guys want to see more about like my health journey of losing weight, I'm already down right around 28 pounds. But if you guys want to see more of that here on the channel, I'm happy to share it. Maybe there's an accountability group or something like that we could do together. If you guys be down, please be sure to comment below this video. We'd love to help. But yeah, great. Thank you for that, Rosie. Next question came from one of my videos where I was talking about underwriting deals. And Alan Young 1820, shout out Alan. He says, "I'm doing a couple creative deals a month, but it seems to be slowing in the markets I'm in, primarily Texas. Are you seeing the same thing there and going to higher cash flow / lower tax rate states for deals?" So here's the deal, guys. In Texas, it's really tough to find deals that you can buy subject to, meaning you take over their mortgage payments and you pay them out and they go on their merry way and now you own the property. Well, it's very tough to find a property that your mortgage payment on that house that you just took over the payments on is less than the area rents. Not because they have more interest and there's bad mortgages in Texas. It's property taxes, right? So they don't pay state income tax in Texas. Instead, they make it up in other areas and property taxes is one of those areas. So normally, because of property taxes, it kills most of your traditional cash flow when it comes to buying creative deals or buying long-term rentals. So what we pivoted to was if I buy deals in the state of Texas, they're typically going to be properties that I purchased to then do a wraparound mortgage on. And instead of them having to go through the bank, I actually seller finance the property to them. I normally bump up the interest rate because that's how I make my monthly cash flow. And I'm normally able to recapture a lot of the money that I had to come down when I purchased the home. I'm normally able to get that back from the wrap buyer. Not 100%, not all the money comes back immediately, but it's good because you can build your portfolio that way. But they do take a lot of work. And me personally, I just think that if you're going to be buying real estate as investments, I think the best place you should be is in cash flow markets, right? Appreciation markets are awesome, but you're not really going to see much benefit for a while, at least on appreciation for the next couple of years. We'll see. Depends if interest rates come down. I could be, obviously eating my words here. If interest rates come down over the next 3 months, it's going to create a buying frenzy and we will start to see appreciation. But over the last couple of years, not really been seeing a ton of it because interest rates have been so high. So I say all that to say, I personally love Midwest markets that are actually cash flowing markets as the best place to buy investment real estate. Now, if I'm buying to fix and flip or I'm buying to wholesale deals, then I want to be in appreciation markets. I want to be in places where there's a lot of buying activity. There's a lot of other fix and flippers. So Atlanta, Orlando, Tampa, Phoenix, Las Vegas, Dallas is even in there. You can obviously go online and say, what's the biggest appreciation markets year over year? Kansas City's a good market. So that's the places I would rather be. That was the goal, was to wholesale deals. But if I'm trying to build my portfolio, I want to be in cash flow markets. Great question. Okay, next question. It actually comes from Refwo. Hope I'm saying that right. And they say, "Hey Matt, you should do a video on how you can tell if a property is a good midterm rental, short-term rental. Is there a certain website you use, market knowledge?" So when it comes to identifying a good midterm rental or short-term rental, really you're looking for suburban markets that the properties around it are in good condition. Because the one thing that can kill your midterm rental before it even comes to pass is the neighborhood being bad, right? So trying to move a family into a property on a midterm rent, or even if you're doing furnish finder, if the house next door is scary or the neighborhood's scary, they're going to go pick another house in a better neighborhood, right? Especially if insurance companies are going to be placing these tenants, because that's basically what midterm rentals are, guys. In the traditional sense, someone's house burns down or it floods or they need to be misplaced while they're redoing whatever. The insurance company will help place them in these properties and typically pay more money than area rent. That's why you're able to collect more. But with that, they need to be in good neighborhoods. So that's the first thing I'll look at. Is like, let me look at the neighborhood itself and let me look at the property. Property can be beautiful, but if the neighborhood's not nice, it's not going to get rented. And then we can start looking at the numbers, right? Furnish Finder is a good place to go. 1.5 times area rent is a good thing to look at for midterms, assuming you have a good market and a good neighborhood. And for short-term rentals, I personally like to use a website called data.rabbu.com. RABBU.com is a good place to start looking. Now, the challenge you're going to find on most of these websites is no website actually like gives you, if the property's been rented, you can see the calendar based on like occupancy rate, because that's a big one. It's like, hey, they charge this much money per night and this is how much is occupied per month. It doesn't tell you if those are owner bookings or not, right? So if their owner is actually booking a week to go visit the property or whatever. So that's all good. That's not going to be shown in these websites. And Airbnb. So if you go to Airbnb directly, you can check out some of your, comparable listings, find other, if you have a 4-bed, 2-bath, I'd literally type in the address into Airbnb. And then it would ask you like, what's your dates? You click on I'm flexible and you hit search. And then I'd find properties close to mine that look like mine, 4-bed, 2-bath. If mine has a pool, I want to find one that has a pool. What are they renting out per night? And I can go look at their calendar and see like how much they're booked out. But again, it doesn't tell me which ones are owner bookings, but it gives me a good idea. Now with short-term rents, you definitely want to plan for about 23 to 25% of that monthly income going towards just expenses, right? Got to take care of cleaners, you got to take care of, whatever the property, restocking it, all the things. So take that in consideration when you're trying to figure out which one makes the most sense. So I prefer to gear more towards long-term and midterm rather than short-term because it's the most volatile. Unless it's like, oh my gosh, this property makes just a ton of cash flow. So, and of course, if I'm doing short-term rents, it needs to be in a traditional short-term market. Because if I'm in a traditional like travel market, they're not going to have like, it's normal for there to be short-term rents rather than like doing an Airbnb in the suburban neighborhood of Dallas or Austin, Texas or something, right? So that's what I would recommend there. Great question. Next comment actually comes from Eddie Wright 2048. Shout out Eddie. Thanks for your comment. And he says, I feel like I'm stuck in the analysis paralysis stage. I would like to get started cold calling. I made a few calls in the past, but not enough calls to get any results. So Eddie, I think you are not alone, brother. There are literally hundreds of thousands of people that are stuck in this stage as they're in the pursuit of their dreams. You're like, oh my gosh, I need to learn everything. I can promise you there is no better learning. So if your goal is like, hey, I want to become educated on this thing, and that's the only reason why I'm spending more time learning, I promise you the best and fastest way to learn isn't actually watching videos in, YouTube University and buying courses. The best way to learn and the fastest way to learn is actually doing the thing, right? And make no mistake, it's tough. The things that you have to do to get deals done, maybe it's outside of your comfort zone. Most of the time it is. Anything good is normally outside of it, and that's corny stuff. Whatever. I'm not trying to be foo-foo here, but what I'm trying to say is stepping outside of your comfort zone is invigorating once you do it consistently, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm proving to myself. I'm voting for myself to be able to do this. And making phone calls and not getting any results is a part of the game. I think more than anything, just like taking note of like, hey, this is what success looks like. I need to make even more calls. And if I make, unlimited amount of calls, and this may sound like a ridiculous thing, but as a kid, I was like a fat kid. And I would think sometimes, and no one knows this, but I would think sometimes like, hey, if I just like walked to school, and school was like, for me, it was about 40 minutes away. I'm like, if I just like walked to school or ran, like, would I get skinny by the time I got there? Like, probably not, right? But at the same time, it's like you want to do enough activities until it's unreasonable to not get the result that you're after, right? So if someone else got a deal in 1,000 cold calls, you should plan to get a deal in 5,000 cold calls. And the fun thing about this current market is you can call real estate agents for listings that have been sitting on market. You don't need to reach out to thousands of people. You can literally call 100 people and there's probably a deal in there. It's all in the approach. But I promise you, obviously getting through the phone calls and getting a ton of no's is a part of it. So keep up the work. And next and final question for this episode of Fact Fridays comes from Jason S. 5912 on Making of a Millionaire, episode 1. He says, hey Matt, I'm 18 and been exploring pathways at which I can make a change in my life. Everything I look up leads to me drop shipping, but I don't think that's the way to go. I do like the idea of working with real estate. The biggest thing is not knowing how to get started. Do you have any pointers? Jason, fantastic question. And even in the comment below that said, dude, me too. I'm kind of at the same point where I'm getting lost and overwhelmed. Here's the deal. You got to pick one thing. And I've never done drop shipping. I've sold plenty of things on eBay, but I'm not the expert on drop shipping by no no means. I remember I used my grandma's credit card one time and I bought some website that promised like sweet deals for these TVs and electronics. And this was like in 2012. So before drop shipping was a thing. I bought this and I was like, oh my gosh, they got these Sony TVs over here for $300 and here they're $1,000 in America, right? It was like drop shipping before drop shipping. But I see a lot of people, and just all honesty, like obviously I'm around a lot of entrepreneurs and business people that have tried it and have gotten burned time and time and time again to where I would never try drop shipping. And not to say that it doesn't work. I'm sure it has to work for some people because there's too much out there to say that it doesn't. I just know real estate really well. I've tried many opportunities before real estate. When I got into this, I didn't know what escrow was. I've never owned a house. Whatever. Like I didn't know what I know now, but I figured it was a worthwhile venture to do something that will always be around, sell or help people buy something that's probably the most expensive thing they could buy. And, the mechanism of doing that changes over time, but this is the game to be in. Whether you're doing residential, commercial, whatever, these price points are high and your cut on these deals, if you put them together, are really, really, really substantial. I mean, you look at the stats of who become millionaires. Over 95% of people who become millionaires year over year, it comes from real estate. And there's a reason right behind that. So success always leaves clues. And I promise you, no matter what path you take, it's not easy, right? There's always going to be work that needs to get done. And you get into it, right? And you get it, maybe say you get into drop shipping. And the next thing you know, you realize that, oh my gosh, this is just a lot of shit. You go from being like uninformed, optimistic to now you are informed and you're a little pessimistic on the opportunity. So the first thing you want to do at that point is, hey, do I jump ship? Do I go to do something else? I don't know how long I can endure this. Just understand that's how it is in any opportunity. It's the same in real estate. From the outside looking in, it's like, okay, I can sell real estate. If you see people flashing $20,000 checks, $30,000 checks, I can do that too. And look, you 100%, if I can do it, I swear to God, you can do it. But more importantly, the whole idea behind thinking that it's just going to be easy, it's just not the case, right? You get into it, you're uninformed, and next thing you know, you start to get more informed. You see how many people you have to talk to, you see the numbers behind it all, you see what it takes to run a business, and really, the real estate business is basically you're a sales business. So running a sales business is like herding cats, right? And you understand the challenges behind learning communications and being consistent with your lead gen, so you're consistent with your acquisitions. But at the same time, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is the question that I would ask. So if you can create a business that brings in $100,000 a month and you're spending $20,000 eventually to get to that point, you're bringing in that kind of profit. For me, real estate wasn't like, maybe I could do that. There was too many people before me that have done it. It's like, no, it certainly can be done. I just got to get there. Right? So it was never a question of if, it was just like, when am I going to get there? With some of these other opportunities, a lot of it's flash in the pan. There's a lot of stuff that's like smoke and mirrors, stuff that you can't see that's happening behind the scenes, or a lot of things that are out of your control. With real estate, I can control it. And that's the reason why I am in this opportunity. And then as things grow and as things change, I'm currently in the process of starting a roofing company. I'm going to document that here on the YouTube channel. But you don't start there. You don't start by having multiple companies and all these things. You start by figuring out, what am I good at? What's my skill set? And can the opportunity match my skill set? And in the beginning, real estate is just such an amazing opportunity to match your learning and growing skill set, especially as an 18-year-old, to something that's been tried and tested for many, many, many years. You can get in on it. Heck, I know people that are 16 doing real estate. I was never enamored with real estate. I was never like, I love real estate so much. I want to own a bunch of houses and this is my favorite thing in the world. No, I was in love with making money and I just wanted to make money, and real estate was the vehicle for me doing that. And as I grow and as I do more things, I am in it to make money. So I try more things like the roofing company and other things like that. Real estate is my foundation because it's very predictable. That's my feedback. Find something that you can figure out what the means to an end is, and if the juice is worth the squeeze. That's it, brother. Great question though. So this is my edition of Fact Fridays. Thank you guys for commenting on all the videos for the week. Be sure to continue to check out the vlogs every day. Ask questions, as I will be taking time answering those questions here on the channel. And I know you guys love the REI Reply stuff on my channel. I will say we moved from REI Reply over to Future Proof CRM, which is the CRM that we built out using the same software REI Reply does. It's $25 a month if you guys are subscribers on the channel. If you end up wanting to get the CRM, you're not going to spend hundreds of dollars. It's literally $25 a month to have all of our automations, all the call system, the text system, all the things that you'll actually need to run your business. It's pretty stinking cool for literally a fraction of the cost of what's out there. So you can check that out. I'll put it in the description. And if you guys want more information, like you want me to do another video on high level and how to build out the software and stuff, I am more than happy to do that. That is a rabbit hole that we could spend a lot of time on. But more importantly, I want you guys to be able to run a well-oiled machine. I want you to run a business that's making money. This year, our goal, and then moving forward, our goal, not just for 2024, but moving forward, is we got really really clear with our motto in our business and like what our mission is. And it is create more impact and help others build wildly profitable businesses. That's what I'm here for. That's what my content is going to be geared for. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks for watching this edition of Fact Friday. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.